Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So for this video, I'm gonna go over and show you a basic full body dynamic stretching routine. To start off, what is dynamic stretching? It's a movement-based type of stretching. A lot of times when people hear stretching, they think mainly static holds, which is like a stretching where you hold a certain part of a muscle group or a body part for about 30 seconds. But dynamic stretching is basically a movement-based type of stretching, such as doing jumping jacks, lunges, things like that. And I'm going to show you a basic full body routine. So stay tuned to the end so you can see the whole full body routine, and maybe you can add some of these dynamic stretching movements to your workout. When I first start, I like to do jumping jacks first. I do about 35 of them. And to add, these numbers and reps aren't exact, so feel free to add and adjust it depending on your skill level and what you're doing. So let me talk about the benefits of dynamic stretching. I wanted to use this comment from my friend Michelle at Open Door Yoga. She said, "This is so important. Dynamic warm-ups are my favorite, whether it's before running or the gym. They are such a great way to get a little safe mobility and heat to the body before increasing the intensity." So to sum it up, yeah, dynamic stretching is important because you want to warm up properly. You definitely don't want to work out with cold muscle. That's an increased risk of injury. And the next movement I do is the squat thrust right here. I like to go down and then arch up my back a bit too, almost like I'm swinging a kettlebell up, but this is mainly to focus on the stretch going up and down. And I do about 10 reps of them. And the next movement is the standing bicycle crunch right here. This is a good one because you feel it in your core and you lift your leg up and you twist and turn your body. And I do about 10 reps on each side, but once again, these numbers are adjustable. Adjust it to your needs. So yeah, these numbers and stretches could always be adjusted, just depending on what you're doing and what workout you're focusing on. So after those three movements, I like to make it easier by start from the top and going all the way down. And now I'm doing neck rotations. I do about 10 on each side, so 10 clockwise and then 10 counterclockwise. So I just fast forward a bit because it's pretty self-explanatory. And the next movement is the arm circles. Just rotate your arm as wide as possible. Start off forward, 10 forward, and if you do forward, after that it's 10 backwards, but it doesn't matter which way you go first. As long as you hit both directions, it doesn't really matter. And after the arm circles, you do the little circles right here. And if you start off backward, just make sure you hit the forward direction. And I like stretching like this from the top all the way down to the bottom because if you're working out with someone new, it's easy for them to follow along as well as learn how to stretch their full body properly. And after the arm circles, it's just a wrist rotation. Rotate forward and backward and then down to the next part. Stretching from the top all the way to the bottom is also a good way to pinpoint any type of imbalances or weakness and any type of injury someone might have if they can't do a certain type of movement. And this movement is a pectoral stretch. You're just opening and closing your arms to stretch out your pecs. And I do about 10 on each side. After that, hands on the hip and you do your hip rotation. 10 clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. Pretty easy to remember because you start off from the top and you just go down to the next group. And the next movement, if you practice any type of martial arts training, you'll see this move before. It might have a different name, but this is a standing hurdle stretch. You basically just open up the hips right here, and it's a good mobility drill for things like kicking and working on your hip flexor. So I do 10 on the outside and then 10 and I bring it back in the inside on each leg. So after this stretch, the next one is the standing leg and hip rotation. You basically just bring your leg and knees up like that and just make big circles. I like to start off going on the outside first, 10 on the outside and 10 in the inside. And after I finish with one leg, I just do the exact same movement on the next leg. And when you follow this routine, keep in mind all these movements are adjustable, all the reps are adjustable. You don't even have to do it in the same order as me, but I like to stick to this routine because it's easy for beginners to learn to follow along, and also to learn how to properly warm up their whole body all the way from the top, their neck, all the way down to their legs. But these movements are not set in stone. Every workout and stretch has its pro and con, and you can always adjust it to whatever suits your needs. Almost done here. So the next movement is the standing knee circles, 10 clockwise and 10 counterclockwise. And after that is just the ankle rotation. If you're having trouble with your balance, you can always grab into something, lean against the wall and do it. But yeah, just stand with your leg out like this and rotate your ankle 10 clockwise and 10 counterclockwise, or vice versa. It doesn't matter as much. And after I do one ankle rotation, I move on to the next ankle. And that's pretty much it, my dynamic stretching routine. I do a couple jumping jacks, the squat thrusts, the knee tucks, and then I stretch from the top all the way down. And you could always add a little bit more if you feel like you could do some more movement, like running in place, and combining the running in place with this pectoral stretch where you open and close the chest. And another one is when you bring your feet back when you're running in place like that. But yeah, there's so many different ways to do it. You just gotta find what works for you and whatever your workout routine is. But yeah, that's my basic full body dynamic stretching routine. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you learned something. Definitely subscribe if you like my content and you want to stay up to date. And hit me up in the comment section if you have any questions or suggestions. Thanks guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.